Hello, today we are going to do environment science and human rights. This is module 1. Its name is multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. This module will be divided into 3 parts, and here we will be talking about environmental studies, its scope, importance, objective, etc. So let's get started. What is environment? As per Environment Protection Act 1986, environment is defined as the sum total of water, air, and land, their interrelationship among themselves and with the human being, other living being, and property. So, environment is like biosphere and hydrosphere of the earth and atmosphere, and all this all together is called environment. So living organism, land, water, air, everything, bird, plant, everything we see around us is called environment. Next is, what is the scope? Why we are studying environmental studies? For environmental science, environment engineering, and environmental management, we are studying environmental studies. So what is environmental science? Environmental science is a subject that deals with the environment damages caused because of human interaction with environment. That is, like if the human is doing some experiment on animals and organism, so that they are getting changed genetically, or there is some changes in organism by themselves, and which is leading to damage to the environment. So these all stuff are studied under this topic. And next is environment engineering. Environment engineering is dealing with the technical process, and which is involved for the protection of environment from the potentially deleterious or harmful effect of human activity, and improving the environment quality for the health and well-being of human. So environment engineering focus on the methods and the way how to innovate something new to help environment, so that the human activity which is causing deficit in the quality of environment can be protected. So for example, water treatment process, these all are the process or the methods to reduce the amount of toxic substance. So all these study for the all this study how to reduce the pollution, or how to create less uh, less harmful substance to for while producing something, and for the improvement of the environment quality. These all comes under environment engineering. Next is environmental management. So environment management helps to promote the physical, social, and economic environment of the enterprises. So it helps to induce greenery, or it helps to reduce the impact of the how to manage the purity in the environment. So all these stuff comes under environmental management. So it encourages planned investment at the start of the production chain rather than forced up investment in cleaning up. So after this, next is, what are the objectives of environmental study? So creating awareness, imparting knowledge, developing attitude of concern, and acquiring skills are the objective of environmental study as per UNESCO 1971. So objective means what are the intentions of environmental studies. So it helps to create awareness about the environment, it helps in imparting knowledge about environment and what are the problems related, like air pollution, water pollution, sound pollution. All this being educated to people who are pursuing the subject. Next is developing attitude of concern. So by studying uh, environmental studies, we help the individual to develop concern regarding the to develop attitude of concern towards the environment, and then it also helps to acquire skills so that the person or the individual who are concerned about the environment can detect the problems and find its solution. Next is, what is the importance of environmental study? So the importance of environmental studies are to clarify environment concept, like how to conserve biodiversity. For example, save tiger. So why it is useful, what is the use of this concept. So all these concepts are clarified using environmental studies, like it comes under environmental studies. Next is to know more sustainable way of living. To know more sustainable way of living. So sustainability means saving it for future, so that our future generation won't get affected because of our comfort. Next is the the use of natural resources more efficiently. Since there is limited resources, like those which are non-renewable are limited, so we have to use it carefully and a efficient way, so that we can take as much as possible, consuming as less as possible. Next is to know the behavior of organism under the natural conditions. So it deals with the it deals with the human organism conditions and all. And then there is to know the relationship between organism in population and communities. So it helps us to understand about how human or other animals are related to each other, what are the impact of their presence in the environment. Next is to be aware and educate people regarding environmental issues and problems at local and national level. So it helps to create awareness, for example, like plastic or anything else. Next is, what is ecology? Ecology has been derived from the words oikos and logos. Oikos means surrounding and logos means study. So the study of surrounding is called ecology. So ecology is the part of environmental studies in which we study about organism, plants and animals and their interrelationship, or the relationship and the interdependence with other living and non-living environment. Why it is important to study ecology, or what are the scope of ecology? So it helps to study about the nature and its function. It helps to study about the flow of energy and material in the environment. For example, there is food web. We know that we have studied earlier also that the sun gives energy to plant, and by eating plants or by the human being is getting energy, or by if the goat is consuming the plant, then and the human is consuming that goat, so that human is getting some amount of energy, and this all flow of energy is being studied in ecology. Next is exchange of various material between biotic and abiotic components. So ecology helps to study about what are the exchanges that biotic and abiotic component do with each other. Next is what is environment? So environment consists of atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere. And in easy term we can see here water, air, land and living things. Living things is called biosphere. Next is, what is atmosphere? So atmosphere is the only planet with an atmosphere. Earth is the only planet with an atmosphere that can sustain life. Earth atmosphere is about 480 kilometers thick, and but it most of it is in the 16 kilometer itself. So what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is the envelope of air that is covering the earth and protecting the earth from the harmful radiation, and containing the earth vapor and trapping the heat. Next is what is the pressure? Air pressure, it changes place to place. At sea level it is 1 kg per centimeter square, whereas at mountain areas it is 0.7 kg per centimeter square. So with the increase in altitude, the air pressure decreases. Next is, there is no distinct boundary between the atmosphere and space, but an imaginary line about 100 kilometers from the surface called carbon line? I guess it may be asked in 2-mark question that what is explain carbon line. So just keep in mind what is carbon line, since there is no particular line showing this is the place where atmosphere ends. So an imaginary line which is situated 100 km above the surface area is called carbon line. Next is, what is the composition of air? So as per NASA, there is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, other gases are less than 1%, argon is I guess 0.98%, which is given in the book, and here in the diagram it is less than 1%, like approximately same. And next is carbon dioxide, that is 0.04%. Next is, what are the layers of atmosphere? So troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere, which is not present in this image, but also exosphere is also included, and these are the 5 layers. How to remember this 5 layers? So with the term trust me in the exam, so we can see the highlight. TR is for troposphere, ST is for stratosphere, ME for the mesosphere, and the is for thermosphere, and exam for EX is for exosphere. So here we can see troposphere is the first layer from 7 to 20 km, stratosphere 20 to 50 km, mesosphere 53 to 85 km. When the mesosphere ends, that location is called mesopause. The thermosphere is 90 to 500 or 90 to 1000. It is, there is no limit, so up to 500 or 1000 it will end, like it changes its location, the gases presence keeps on changing. Next is exosphere. It is extremely thin, that is the outermost layer. So what is the content? So troposphere contains water vapor and dust, so therefore there is cloud formation in troposphere. Stratosphere contain ozone, that is which helps us to protect from UV rays that is coming through the sun, and there is presence of dry air, and jet weather balloons are found in this in this layer. Next is mesosphere. Mesosphere is the coldest and its temperature goes up to -90 degree. Next is thermosphere. Thermosphere's temperature varies from, its temperature keeps on varying, it can be up to 1500 degrees Celsius. The intensity of air is low, the air density is low, and international space, so the International Space Station is located here. Then there is exosphere. It contains helium and hydrogen particles. Next is lithosphere. The lithosphere is the solid outer section of Earth, and it is made by the combination of crust and the upper part of the upper mantle, and these both comprised of relatively cooled and rigid rock material. The crust is the outermost layer of Earth, and its thickness varies. So in the ocean it is the lowest, that is 5 to 10 kilometer. In continent it contains 30. So I was saying that ocean lithosphere keep on varying, and like in ocean it is the lowest, like the thinnest layer, that is 5 to 10 kilometer. In continent there is 35 kilometer. In mountain it is up to 60 kilometer. The upper part of the upper mantle is relatively cooler and rigid. Sorry for the mistake, I have to change it. So the upper part of upper mantle is relatively cool, rigid, solid, and it is believed to be made up of denser material, like compared to the crust, and the depth varies from 50 to 100 kilometer below the surface. So next is, like, I hope it is clear that first there is the earth crust and then the upper part of the upper mantle, and these both all together, like from the ground to the 100 kilometer below the earth surface, is called lithosphere. Next is hydrosphere. The earth is blue because of water is present everywhere. That's why it is blue planet, and from the space its color looks blue and a little bit of green, but more blue because of 71% of earth is covered in water. Water is stored underground as groundwater. Next is, it is difficult to figure out how much water is found in earth, and therefore, like approximate, it is said that if there is a square box and its length, breadth and height is 692 miles, so that is the quantity or amount of water that is present. So water is located everywhere. Like if there is leaves, so that there is water droplet on it after, or there is rain or the cloud, so the quantity of water is we are unable to define it, but this is the approximate volume, and the 97% of the water is as in the form of ocean. And that's all for today. Thank you, and I will be releasing part 2 soon. Please stay online, and please check out this PPT by pausing video and just read it. I hope that will be clear. If you're not having book, you can read this PPT. It has the summary of it. Thank you.